What happens when four retirees armed with sharp wit, endless curiosity, and more life experience than most detectives decide to solve crimes that the police can't? That's the magic behind the Thursday Murder Club. It's not your usual dark and gritty mystery, nor is it just a light comedy. It's something different, an addictive blend of humor, suspense, and heartfelt emotion. But as fans wait for the screen adaptation, one question lingers: can it capture what made the book so special? Or will it lose the charm that made millions fall in love with this unlikely crime-solving crew? The Thursday Murder Club began as the debut novel of Richard Osman, a television personality in the UK who surprised everyone by entering the literary world. Released in 2020, it quickly became a global bestseller, and the success was staggering. The first book alone sold millions of copies, climbing charts not only in the UK but also in the United States and beyond. Osman's writing struck a rare balance. His story wasn't just about solving a mystery. It was about friendship, aging, loss, and still finding purpose in later stages of life. Readers were drawn to that honesty as much as the clever crime. At its center, the story follows four residents of a quiet retirement village: Elizabeth, a former spy with a sharp and calculating mind; Joyce, a kind but surprisingly cunning woman who often hides her brilliance under polite chatter; Ibrahim, a retired psychiatrist who brings logic and method to the group; and Ron, an ex-union leader whose fiery personality gives the club its edge. Together, they form the Thursday Murder Club, a group that meets once a week to dig into unsolved cases. What starts as a hobby soon pulls them into real-life crimes, where they prove themselves to be more capable than anyone expects. What makes the book series stand out is its unique point of view. Most crime thrillers follow young detectives or seasoned officers who are still in the thick of their careers. But Osman flips this trope on its head. Here, the investigators are in their 70s, and instead of slowing down, they are speeding up, refusing to be ignored by society. This perspective not only adds humor, but also a deep sense of wisdom and heart. The mysteries themselves are clever, but the real charm lies in how these characters interact, how they use their life experience, and how they find meaning in chasing justice. Critics praised the book for its warmth and originality. Reviewers often noted that Osman's prose was easy to read but carried emotional weight, allowing readers to laugh one moment and reflect the next. The success didn't stop there. The Thursday Murder Club became the first of a growing series, with sequels like The Man Who Died Twice, The Bullet That Missed, and The Last Devil to Die, expanding the world and deepening the relationships between the characters. Each book kept the blend of humor and heartbreak that fans loved, ensuring the series wasn't just a one-hit wonder. Beyond the pages, the hype grew louder when news broke that Netflix had acquired the rights to adapt the series into a film, with some major names rumored to be involved. Suddenly, the story wasn't just a literary sensation. It was positioned to become one of the most anticipated adaptations in recent years. Fans began to wonder who would be cast in the beloved roles, how the story would be condensed into a 2-hour format, and whether the adaptation could deliver the same balance of comedy and mystery that made the novel shine. But before we dive into the challenges and expectations of the screen version, it's important to understand why the source material is so beloved. The Thursday Murder Club is not just another cozy crime series. It's a love letter to friendship, to curiosity, and to the idea that life doesn't end at retirement, it only changes shape. This heartwarming yet thrilling mix is what created such a devoted fan base, and it's exactly what the adaptation needs to honor if it hopes to succeed. When a book as wildly popular as The Thursday Murder Club gets the Hollywood treatment, fans immediately start asking the same question: what will the adaptation look like? The Netflix project has been buzzing ever since Richard Osman confirmed the rights were sold, and while not every detail has been revealed, there are some strong hints about what we can expect when the story finally moves from page to screen. First, let's talk about tone. Osman's writing has always walked a fine line between cozy and sharp-edged. On one hand, the books are filled with laugh-out-loud moments, witty banter, and gentle humor that makes the characters feel warm and relatable. On the other, there are real stakes: murder, betrayal, and a darkness lurking beneath the quiet English countryside. The adaptation will need to decide how much to lean into the comedy and how much to emphasize the darker mystery elements. If it leans too far one way, it risks alienating a large part of the audience. Go too light, and it might feel like a caricature of quirky old people solving crimes. Go too dark, and it risks losing the charm that made the books unique. The sweet spot is somewhere in between, capturing both the laughs and the heartbreak. Then there's the setting. Cooper's Chase, the fictional retirement village, isn't just a backdrop. It's practically a character in its own right. The leafy gardens, quiet halls, and social clubs contrast brilliantly with the idea of murder investigations happening behind closed doors. For the adaptation to feel authentic, the village needs to be brought to life with warmth and detail and environment that feels both cozy and claustrophobic, full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Imagine the camera moving from peaceful breakfast chats to tense interrogations, all within the same community. This setting, if done right, could make the story visually unforgettable. Casting is another major factor, and perhaps the most talked about. 1. The 4 main characters are so distinct that fans already have their dream cast lists. Elizabeth Spy demands an actress who can radiate intelligence and authority while also revealing hidden layers of vulnerability. Joyce, the outwardly gentle but surprisingly cunning member, needs someone who can embody warmth yet deliver quiet brilliance. Ibrahim, calm and methodical, calls for an actor who can show quiet strength. And Ron, the fiery ex-activist, must be played by someone with big energy but also depth. These aren't just roles, they're beloved characters that fans have imagined vividly, and casting the wrong actor could easily throw off the balance. That's why names like Helen Mirren, Judi Dench, or Bill Nighy keep coming up in conversations. Even though nothing official has been confirmed, beyond the first book, there's also the question of scope. Will the Netflix project focus on just the events of the debut novel, or will it try to set the stage for a longer franchise? The first book has more than enough content for a standalone story, but given the huge success of the sequels, it's likely the creators are already thinking about a larger arc. This raises interesting creative challenges. Should the adaptation drop hints about future storylines, or keep things self-contained? If Netflix is investing in a potential franchise, they may choose to weave in small details that set up future mysteries without overwhelming the first film. Another thing to expect is the translation of Osman's unique voice. Part of what makes the book so addictive is his writing style: dry wit, gentle irony, and a kind of playful narration that feels like a wink to the reader. On screen, this could be handled in several ways. Maybe through voiceovers that capture Joyce's diary entries, since her perspective in the novels is especially charming. Or perhaps through clever dialogue that maintains the rhythm and humor of Osman's prose. However they choose to handle it, one thing is certain: without that voice, the adaptation risks becoming just another murder mystery. Finally, there's the global factor. While the story is deeply rooted in the English countryside, Netflix will want to appeal to a worldwide audience. This could mean making the humor more universal, adjusting pacing for modern viewers, and ensuring the emotional beats resonate across cultures. But the danger here is sanding down too many edges, losing the very British charm that makes the book so unique. The ideal approach would be to keep the authenticity of Osman's world while presenting it in a way that feels accessible to all. In short, what can fans expect? A cozy yet thrilling mystery set in a charming village, filled with wit, heart, and suspense. A group of unlikely heroes brought to life by actors who will hopefully capture their essence. And a tone that, if handled right, could make the Thursday Murder Club not just another book-to-screen adaptation, but one of the most memorable mystery projects of recent years. Every book-to-screen adaptation carries its own risks. But with the Thursday Murder Club, the stakes feel even higher. Why? Because the very thing that makes the novels so special is also what could make them so difficult to adapt. At its core, the series is not just a murder mystery, it's a delicate balance of humor, heart, and suspense. Getting that balance right will be the single biggest challenge, and if Netflix fails to capture it, the adaptation may disappoint both longtime fans and new audiences. Let's start with the tone. In the books, Osman masterfully combines laugh-out-loud moments with genuine emotion and, of course, a tightly woven mystery. Readers can go from chuckling at Joyce's quirky diary entries to feeling the weight of Elizabeth's painful past, all within a few pages. But film and television don't always allow for that kind of fluid transition. If the adaptation leans too heavily on humor, it risks turning the story into a series of jokes about elderly people playing detective. That would strip the story of its depth and reduce beloved characters into stereotypes. On the other hand, if the show leans too dark, focusing only on the murder and suspense, it loses the warmth and charm that made the book such a success in the first place. Striking the perfect balance is essential, yet incredibly hard to achieve. Another major issue is pacing. The books thrive on slower character development, weaving mysteries alongside quiet moments of friendship and reflection. Readers love the way Osman takes his time, allowing us to settle into Cooper's Chase and truly get to know Elizabeth, Joyce, Ibrahim, and Ron. But screen adaptations often face time constraints, condensing hundreds of pages into a 2-hour film or limited series. That means some of those small but meaningful moments could be cut. The danger here is that the audience might never fully connect with the characters if the story is rushed, reducing the mystery to just another plot-driven crime drama. And without that connection, the emotional weight of the series is lost. There's also the risk of oversimplification. In the novels, Osman carefully avoids cliches. His elderly characters are not one-dimensional old people jokes. Instead, they are complex, layered individuals with histories, regrets, and untapped potential. Each member of the club brings something unique to the table: Elizabeth's sharp instincts, Ibrahim's methodical reasoning, Joyce's disarming charm, and Ron's fiery boldness. But in adapting them, Hollywood might be tempted to flatten these personalities into easy-to-digest archetypes. If Elizabeth becomes just the clever leader, or Joyce just the sweet grandmother, the adaptation will miss what made readers care in the first place. Another challenge lies in audience expectation. Fans of the book already have a clear vision of what these characters look and sound like. Casting, therefore, becomes a double-edged sword. Even if Netflix lands talented actors, some viewers will inevitably feel disappointed if the portrayal doesn't match what they imagined while reading. This pressure increases because the characters are older, and audiences will be particularly sensitive about whether the actors capture both their vulnerability and strength. The wrong casting choice could shift the story's entire emotional tone. The structure of the books also poses a challenge. Much of the humor and insight comes from Joyce's diary entries and Osman's witty narration. These give readers a sense of intimacy, as though they are part of the Thursday Murder Club themselves. But transferring that kind of narration to the screen isn't easy. Should the adaptation use voiceovers? Should Joyce's diary be a recurring device? Or should it try to reinvent Osman's narrative style visually? Each choice comes with risks. Too much voiceover could feel clunky, but ignoring it entirely could mean losing a key part of the series' charm. Lastly, the adaptation faces the pressure of genre competition. Audiences today are spoiled with an abundance of mystery and crime. Dramas from gritty thrillers like Broadchurch and Mare of Easttown to lighter fare like Only Murders in the Building. To stand out, the Thursday Murder Club has to prove it offers something different. Its unique angle is the unlikely group of elderly detectives. But if handled poorly, that could come across as gimmicky instead of groundbreaking. The show has to prove that its charm isn't just a novelty, but a rich and emotional story worth investing in. In short, the biggest problem facing the Thursday Murder Club adaptation is not the mystery itself, it's capturing the spirit of the books. The humor, the depth, the pacing, and the characters' humanity all need to survive the transition to screen. Fail to balance these elements, and the adaptation risks becoming just another forgettable crime drama. But if Netflix can find that sweet spot, it has the chance to create something truly special. asterisk for all the challenges and risks the adaptation faces, there's one undeniable truth. The Thursday Murder Club has everything it needs to succeed. The foundation is already strong, a best-selling series loved by millions, filled with clever mysteries and unforgettable characters. If Netflix and the creative team behind the project make the right choices, this adaptation could be more than just a cozy crime drama. It could become a cultural touchstone that reshapes how audiences view the genre. One of the biggest advantages is the source material itself. Richard Osman didn't just write mysteries. He created stories layered with humor, wisdom, and heart. That means the adaptation doesn't need to invent much to make it engaging. The relationships between Elizabeth, Joyce, Ibrahim, and Rana are already so dynamic that simply bringing them to life faithfully could draw viewers in instantly. Their camaraderie, their witty exchanges, and their shared determination to keep life interesting in their later years create a natural rhythm that works just as well on screen as it does on the page. Their casting opportunities are another reason to feel optimistic. Hollywood and British cinema have no shortage of seasoned actors who could step into these roles with ease. Imagine a powerhouse actress bringing Elizabeth's cool intelligence to life, or a performer with natural warmth and humor delivering Joyce's diary-like observations. With the right mix of talent, the adaptation could feel less like fiction and more like spending time with real people. This is one of the rare stories where older actors get the spotlight, and that in itself could be a refreshing change from the youth-driven focus of most modern dramas. It opens the door for performances that are not only entertaining but deeply moving, as we see characters confronting aging, loss, and friendship while also outsmarting criminals. Another strength lies in timing. Audiences are craving fresh takes on the mystery genre. The runaway success of shows like Only Murders in the Building proves that viewers love stories that combine humor, heart, and murder in unexpected ways. The Thursday Murder Club offers something even more unique by centering on retirees rather than quirky podcasters or detectives. If executed with care, it could carve out its own space in the genre series that appeals to younger viewers looking for sharp mysteries, while also resonating with older audiences who rarely see themselves represented in such heroic and entertaining roles. The adaptation also has the advantage of flexibility. While the first book provides a perfectly structured mystery for a single film or season, the sequels guarantee a pipeline of stories ready to be adapted. That means Netflix doesn't have to worry about running out of material anytime soon. If audiences respond well, the Thursday Murder Club could easily grow into a long-running franchise, with each season or movie focusing on a different case, while continuing to explore the evolving relationships between the main characters. This built-in longevity makes the project even more valuable for the streaming platform. What's more, the heart of Osman's writing, the themes of friendship, resilience, and finding purpose at any age translates universally. These are ideas that resonate far beyond the cozy villages of England. Whether someone is reading the books in the US, watching the adaptation in Europe, or streaming it in Asia, the message remains the same. Life doesn't stop being exciting after retirement. That's a powerful, hopeful idea, and one that audiences worldwide are ready to embrace. And let's not forget Osman himself. Unlike some authors who step back once Hollywood takes over, he has shown real interest in ensuring the adaptation stays true to his vision. His involvement could be the secret weapon that keeps the project grounded in the spirit of the books. If the filmmakers listen to his guidance, they'll have direct access to the very mind that made these characters and mysteries resonate with millions in the first place. Of course, no adaptation is guaranteed success. But the Thursday Murder Club has an edge because it offers something genuinely different in a market flooded with formulaic crime dramas. It doesn't just rely on twists and suspects. It thrives on human connection, humor, and the bravery of ordinary people stepping into extraordinary situations. That's the kind of story that, when done right, doesn't just entertain, it lingers with viewers long after the credits roll. So yes, the project has its risks, but it also has the potential to surprise us all. If the balance of comedy and suspense is maintained, if the casting captures the heart of these characters, And if the charm of Osman's writing makes it onto the screen, then The Thursday Murder Club could become one of Netflix's standout successes. It could remind audiences why cozy mysteries matter, why stories about friendship endure, and why even in the most unlikely places like a quiet retirement village extraordinary adventures can still unfold.